It's got Wessex blades. It seems I can't come home from work without finding one of those red post office sticker things saying, "We've missed you. Your delivery's at the post office." I'll go back the next day and pick it up. I wonder what this is. I do like deliveries. Mr. AV, it has arrived. For later. There. See what's in here. Got a little bit of Amazon about it. It could be a small thing. It's a flashlight, torch flashlight. The bag. All I can say is they seem to like what I do. You know, my approach is as it is. There's no bullshit. If it's good, it's good. If it fails, it fails. That's the way I'm going to be. Go and get it set up there. Let's open this. This is a TN12. It's in a box rather than a tin. Looks like recycled card. Looks to be recycled card. It's got the thing, so full marks for using packaging that's going to be vaguely eco-friendly. It's a torch, a surround, instructions, a pouch, a lanyard, a silica gel you keep away from the kids, that's out of the way. Looks to be a spare button cap and a spare couple of seals, and a beefy chrome or nickel plate belt clip. So put those in there a minute. How does this work? What undoes? Okay, so I'm undoing it from about that point. Initial impressions. A lot smaller in hand than the average 2AA. There's power in there, so I'll swipe the batteries. The power that's in is the power that's in there. That undoes. Looks to be pre-greased. Wow. It needs one of those huge batteries, I think. So I think I've got to go out and get a 18600 battery thing, I think. Yep, I think so. What's the power source? Battery use is 18650 battery. So, fair play, I've got to go get a battery. Which is one of them lithium-ion surefire things. In terms of engineering. Slick as. It's arrived. That's what you want. So, yes, uber appreciation to ThruNite for getting that to me. But with no power cells, I've got a clone, which arrives via Amazon. All of that strange plastic tube for no reason. It's a book bag. Ultrafire 2002 Loon Creed, camping, hiking, fishing, blinding small invertebrates. Okay, what do you get? Get an ultrafire thing, chargery thing with a little LED thing, charge thing, and the reason I went for this kit was 2 of them. Usual hokey rattly one. Oh, you gotta have a hokey rattly one, haven't you? It's tightened up. So, cheap and nasty, or is it cheap and cheerful? So, it's got a carriage for putting 3 AAAs in. That's interesting. Oh, that's a beast in it, these batteries. Is there any juice in it? Yes! So, cheap and cheerful. We now have a use for the carrier. No, it doesn't fit. Ah, well, I tried. Strange plastic thing. Stay. So, ThruNite, guiding you through the night. When you open the packet with the instruction manual, the holster, and the torch, what you need to do is get a hold of one of these. So this is your 18650 lithium-ion cell. It's sort of like an AA, but chunkier. 18650. Whoa. It's pretty pokey. 3.7 volt lithium-ion. So, you unscrew it what there or here. Wants to unscrew a third of the way up. There it is. Oh, that's nice. Okay, slight rattle. It is pre-lubricated. There's some light oil on there, sort of baby oil viscosity. Twists up and home. Okay, so I'm thinking butt cap. Am I doing something wrong? Is it upside down? It should have circuitry to prevent upside downness. So put it in upside down. Does it work? Butt cap. Switch. No. Well, the other one worked. So there is battery. Perhaps one was charged and one wasn't. I do love a good problem. So let's put the ThruNite back in there. Cheap and nasty Hawaiian Chenxing XLMLT6. Okay. Okay, so cheap and evil with retention strap. It's not Halloween, but it got a mean green hulky thing on. So low, strobe, SOS, one power, one power, one power, high, medium and low, strobe, SOS. Okay, so that works. A little bit rattly. How do we get this off? Right. Butt cap comes off of that one. Looks like a toy stick. there. That battery definitely works. Get the ThruNite, put it in, nipple up into there. Doesn't seem to want to work. Is there something missing? Why doesn't it work out of the box? TN12 2014 user manual is the improved version of the T12. Improved UI. I don't know what that means. Okay. Tree, lifespan of 50,000 hours. Use one rechargeable on 13650. It is. Working voltage 2.7 to 9. It's 3.7. Yes. Polarity. It does have protection, which I did know, and it's definitely cap up. This one does not seem to work. Press the tail switch gently from momentary on until it clicks to return. Strobe. Don't seem to want to work. Cap up, screw in, there we go. You've got to sort these things out. So, never lose faith. There might have been a speck of dust on it or something. So, this one, put that in there. That's in there. Low. So it should be high. Medium. Medium. ThruNite blitzes it. Low. I've not cycled through yet. So I got to push the button here. Whoa! Let's just appreciate that a second on the old ThruNite. There's Meep set in. You know the one, it's pitch black, you're desperate for a pee in the tent, it's 2 o'clock in the morning, and you pick out your torch and turn it on. That's the one you want in your face. Low setting. Oh, the joy. And then you go, click. Now we're talking. Feels like 20. Yes. I just killed my camera. Bloody hell's bells. That's 3, 4, 5. Back to there. Cheap and nasty. Obviously, I bought this not technically for comparison, but just to get the batteries. all the selections on the butt cap, but I must say you can only access the butt cap by going in that castellated section between the two uprights. So in that scalloped area there, your finger does actually go in. When it's like that, it's not that easy to act. So SOS. So this one starts on high. This one, the ThruNite, starts on low, and I dare say there's a memory function later. Why do you want to start on high? Cheap and nasty. Start on low. You can always go to high later, but in the meantime, you don't blind yourself. There is high. There is medium. There is low. There's your strobe and your SOS. All of which I find the low is quite pleasant on the cheap one. Get some ideas on that later on. Comparison wise, we'll do some size differences down here. Wow. So there's the ThruNite with the ThruNite case. There's the clone, which you can see rolling. ThruNite rolls as well. So what we're thinking is when the belt clip would go on, might stop rolling. So we'll put that there for now. Size. Big and bulky. It feels decidedly heavier too. I mean, obviously there's a lot more to that one, but the initial thing was I can access that. I can straddle there. My finger is on the end of the, like if that was a volcanic crater, I'm on both rims and I can still press it with my joint hyperextending between the two rims. I am still accessing that switch. Although with the ThruNite, you've got to get through those two highs to get to those two lows. You've got to go like that. If I'm like that, it's not happening. So if you were paintballing or you tactical guys with your rails and your AR-15 things, of which I have absolutely no experience, or law enforcement, and you went for that, I'm getting a thumb full of either those corners, or I've got to hit it and get it between. My thumb is still catching those. I mean, it looks cool, and it's somewhere to hang your lanyard, but there's a lanyard for a hole here, and it's in a bowl. There may be for whatever reasons they got, but it's on, and the rest of it is cycled through on the push button on the side, which is there. And that is as easy as pie. Once you've located it, and you can feel in this rim, it's smooth until you get to the button. So in pitch black, you'll be able to find that. There's enough difference between one end and another to know which end you got, because you've got two thick rim sections at the front and only one at the back. So time you've worked out, oh, that's the butt cap, yeah, it's fine. There I am. Turn it on, and then cycle through the buttons, I much prefer starting low. There's two. There's your light to find things at night. And you're not going to give yourself a migraine by turning this one on straight into high. Boom. Good morning. Start on low settings. The ThruNite does. That was speed 2. Power 2. 3. Wow. We'll do some night ones in a minute. 4. That's more light than my light bulb. Is there another one? Yes. I don't know what to say with that. That is just incredible. So we'll go outside in the garden. We'll do some night comparisons. And just for common access, these are the sort of thing you can buy in a supermarket for £10. Got them from Tesco. Aluminium body, 2 AA's, 1 power setting, and I've got to say, one of the nicest butt caps I've ever laid thumb on. Okay, so we're outside in my pitch black garden, and we go for the average one that you get in a supermarket, £10, and you should be able to see it just catching up the white bucket. That's the first and easiest thing to see. I've got an old paint bucket there. There's a blue garden ornament at the bottom of your screen and a red painted shed, and you're not picking up the shed, just the white bucket. That's what we're looking at for your £10. 2 AA batteries in that one. Okay, cheap and cheerful via the internet. I'll put the strap-on scissors on there. Now there's its high setting. It's perfect flood, perfect circle. Straight on the medium, and there's no spot. So there's a nice diffuse pool, but we're barely getting the white bucket. A glint on the blue ornament, and low. I mean, you can walk the dog with that, but it's not picking up on the camera. I'll put the strobe to the floor because there's a road nearby me. There's the strobe, and there's your SOS. That's cheap and cheerful. On high, that's pretty impressive. I think this is like £12, £13 in the UK. In the pocket, the ThruNite, which remember starts on low. So I can see it picking up the bucket. Cycle through on the switch. Number 2. Number 3. Now straight away the beam is completely different on the ThruNite. You've got a decent pool, a diffuse pool around the outside, but you've got a more penetrating spot. That's only on number 3. Number 4. I mean, straight away, that is piercing, far better than the cheap and cheerful. I mean, that is showing up. And number 4. 5 times. Back down to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What I'll do is I'll superimpose the power settings while I'm going through the cycle of this actual button pressing to give you a clue what the lumen output of the ThruNite is. So 1, that bucket is 3 meters away. 2, 3, so 1, just pick up the bucket now. Number 2, number 3, 4, and number 5. Not much difference, but you will feel the user time drop off with that higher power setting. Now I've come back into my garage and turned all the lights off, going from the my power board to the camera. I have more than enough light to see exactly where I'm going on the lowest setting of the ThruNite. And as I'm wandering around, all I'm using is the low setting. So if I get the garage door lined up, in comes the light now. There. That's strange. I actually get the strap in the way of the beam. That's the cheap one, and it completely fills the end of my garage in terms of beam. Now I want to do like for like. If we start at that's the low setting of the cheap and cheerful. The ThruNite will now have to cycle through. So there it is on low. Where are we to? Low. Done. Straight away, there's the ThruNite on. I don't know what setting it is. On number 2, there's the ThruNite. On number 3, there's the ThruNite, which is just completely upsetting the camera with this one on low. So there's the cheap one on medium. ThruNite on about 3, which is about medium. ThruNite now goes up to 4. The spot in the centre is quite handy. I do love a flood. I do actually love a flood. But the chance of having a good flood with a piercing beam just gives you that extra throw if you're looking on ahead in the woods or along farm tracks and you just want to make sure how far we got before we get the corner, or are we going to hit some big puddles, or is there a dip, or is there a fence coming. To have a flood is fine, but things can creep up on you. Four, 5, that's on high. That's on high. Here comes the cheap one. It just barely arrives. You can see it. The ThruNite is literally lighting up my garage. That's my garage roof. Yeah, there are distinct advantages having pool and with a spot in the centre, more throw, and still have a wide pool of light. The end of the ThruNite is warm. If the end of the ThruNite is warm, could that be a lifesaver in a cold environment? Putting that next to your core. Just throwing it out there. Just throw. That's under its own light. That is light bouncing off the ceiling. Very impressive. That's warm. That's giving out heat. Right, let's go through the accessories you get within the box. It should be within frame as I move my wonderful prang out of the way. Real world stuff, nothing set up in here. Yep, that is a fire still. Okay, real world test, real world. Find it, suck it and see. How I find it is how it is. There's the kit that we got off of Amazon in order to get the battery. The first thing I come up with is the sheath that comes with the cheap and hokey cokey, which you get Velcro, elasticated sides and an open bottom. You get a belt loop on the back. It's pretty slim, but there's a popper and Velcro sides. Bit of a battle getting it in. It's in. It fits. And you can pull it out through the bottom. Did you just see that? There it is. There it is. Running, jumping, running, jumping, running, jumping. Probably not ever going to come out because it's elasticated. But it does actually come out through the bottom of the sheath. That is really weird. We'll only have a little bit of elasticated down there. So you notice that the actual emblem is skew with. It doesn't look very even, but it's a way of carrying your hokey cokey torch. Go to the ThruNite. It's a far stiffer affair. It's leaner. The fit and finish of it is beyond a step forward. There is twice as much as there, or what? 1, 2, 3. Third as much elasticated side, but you still got that confusing hole at the bottom. Will it pull out through the bottom? Higher quality Velcro, probably from the other side of the factory. Let's put it base side down. Do it up. Can I get it out through the bottom? A lot easier going through the elasticated, and that is because of the shape. Obviously that's going to struggle coming out through elasticated because it's a dirty great conical head on it, but there's a lot more elastic there. That's okay. You got a little bit of a D-ring there, and that going on, so it's pretty well stitched. But just think if I had molly on it. Just tactically sort of torch. Goes in alright. So far it's a more elegant solution than that. And why they bothered with Ultra Fire emblem if you're not going to stitch it straight? You missed the ball on that one. ThruNite spare butt cap, 2 spare O-rings in a little Ziploc bag, a clip for retention in your pocket. But I'm looking at that. I personally would prefer unscrewing that, putting a ring in there and putting it on, because you can put it on, you can take it off. It's pretty strong, but that's just me. A decent yank, that'll stay on your pocket, that would come off. The strap, oh, that feels like velour. It's like really, that's quite nice actually. And that goes through the section there, near the butt cap. This is where you do all your fiddly, fine motor skill stuff in front of the camera. Ooh, that feels nice. It's all fluffy. Whereas that just feels like nylon string. And breaks. So for the sake of threepence worth of nylon bullshit cord, you could have lost your black torch face down in the mud with only Halloween green stuff button coming out. Tug test. Well, it's got to be done on the ThruNite. Oh yeah. Well, there's at least 10k pressure on that, and that's not coming out. So the quality of the cord, quality of the clip there that pinches the end of the cord, and leaving the strength of that thin micro cord there which goes through the thing, is more than enough to cope with me yanking on it. That blitz, that is useless. It's worse than useless. Reason is you've just trusted it to hold your torch. It hasn't. That's now in a bog in Exmoor. Hardly any battery rattle. Make up your own mind. The LED on the cheap one is bigger. How the hell do they get $1,000 lumen out of something that's 4mm square? Well, that's me confused. The button on the ThruNite feels very high quality. It's checkered rubber, so there's your button, and it's checkered, so it's not just, you know, rubbery to make it feel good or feel nice. It's checkered as well and gives pretty good grip. Although I will say the knurling doesn't really provide anything. The contouring gives it the grip. There's some funny ridges on that. That's as slick as hell anyway. No grip on that. Why put knurling on? Maybe it just dissipates water like a car tire. The front section gives ample grip anyway there. That is so much more out. I mean, look. 2 AAs, 18650. Now, I'm not really a big advocate of these chargers. I did have a torch very similar to this and that, and it just disappeared one day. I might have been at the bushcraft show. So I thought I had them, but no, I just bought another one. And so what you're left with is the options of recharging it when you're out in the field. Now, I don't know whether solar panel things can charge it up, but you get the option of a plug-in via mains, and if you were able to get 12 volts at some point, you could certainly bodge one of these cigarette lighter things in order to recharge your torch in this block. So there's an option for charging it in the field if you're out for a long stay. The other option is get this strange canister thing which allows you to use 3 AAAs, which you probably can charge a bit easier, being they're only 1.5 volts. So put them together, you get 4.5. If NIMs are only like 1.2, you get about 3.6. So there's another option, using that bullet for your AAAs. But aside from the first 10 minutes trying to get it to work, the ThruNite is tougher, far better made. A strap that you can actually trust it to retain and keep hold of your torch. Buy cheap, regret. The torch is okay. A strap that doesn't hold the weight of a torch. Great. There is a memory function. So, I mean, I've been turning on and off there. There's the second setting. Turn it off. I can't turn that button off. I literally got to take my time and find it. So I turn it on again, it should still be on number 2. Should still be on number 2. Still be on number 2, and it is. So the memory function, so 3, 4, 5. Does that work? I change it like that? Nope. 3, 4, 5. And that is pumping out the heat. That's warm. Sorry, gotta test it. Gotta test it. High to core. So that is on. That's warming my core up. That's warming my chest up. I'm not advocating this as a survival technique, but this torch is putting heat there. I can feel that. Just throwing it out there. The way I find it. That's the way I do it. So, ThruNite. Guiding you through the night. This is, get their number right. This is a TN12, the 2014 version. The LED is a cool white. I think they get a sort of slightly neutral colour, is it? Some difference. But this one's in cool white. Oh. I much prefer starting low and going high, because you don't want that in your torch when you turn it on. You'd rather turn on that if it was pitch black. A great box, you can actually chuck it straight in. Got somewhere to keep it. Stuff it in, being hand-fisted. There he goes. There he goes. Tough as. I wouldn't want to splash that around if I could help it. But I got the battery for it, and that's what it's all about. Of course, a bit pointless doing all the silly boil tests, isn't it? Yeah, it'd be utterly pointless doing tests like that. Yeah, I have one comment. It was a message, and it says, "Oh, what are you point you doing that hot water boiling test? That's not real world." Yes, it is. See, you see, real world is you're out camping in winter, and the outside temperature is -2, and you dumsy clot drop it in the soup, so it goes from -2 to 100 degrees. I still can barely hold on to it. Okay, it's in my pocket out the way. That's a real world test. I'm not setting fire to this one because it has a rubber butt cap. I am slightly sensible, but you get something that's a common man price. Okay, this is around the £30 mark, this torch TN12. This isn't like a Wolf Eyes. This isn't hundreds of pounds. And I trusted that. I knew it would work. I've done 2 evil tests beforehand, and I knew it would do it. You just know it's going to be fine. The seal's going to be right. It's going to be resilient. The glass at the end will have a good seal on it. It's going to take it. The other thing was, it was actually melting the ice in the freezer. I put it on, put the end on it, and it was making it go slippy. The heat is giving out. So what you're getting for your common manish sort of price is something that you can actually depend on, as opposed to let you down in 2 minutes. That's what you want when you're out in the middle of nowhere. You don't care whether it's a name or a brand. Okay, Bear Grylls. Okay, there's a lot of hit and misses in that range. So far with ThruNite, I don't think there's been any dropped balls in terms of the marketing or the specifications or the materials or its performance. It all seems pretty up there with the performance, bang on with the price, and a forward-looking attitude to testing. They were shocked at my tests. They weren't horrified. Don't do that. It's not. You know, the amount of times that products that are blades and people try and get a replacement because it broke, and they were saying, "We weren't doing any torture tests, were you?" We need to know. If you're going out camping for 3 days, or if you're going on an expedition somewhere, and you've got that brand, that name, that type of torch, that type of stove, that brand of boot, you don't want to get a third of the way through and have to airlift in another point because it just didn't work out. It's not good enough. Can I pick it up? Just about. Yes. As a product, it's great. It's small, it's light. I'm not really into the lithium-ion batteries. I personally much prefer AAA, AA. Obviously, it's not going to give enough whack for these high-performance LED ends. If your system encompasses those types of batteries, okay, you could I'll get a 15 quid one. You get around the 28, 35 pound mark. This is really kicking people like Phoenix into touch. It's probably more and more paying a bit more than a hokey cokey. The only thing I find was a little bit, do you know what I wish, and that's the butt cap. because when you go to turn it on, you gotta get over the first one, over and down onto the button to do it, if you're unlucky enough not to go into the gap there. That seems to me a better addition than a popper or snap. Don't know why you need a popper and a snap. You just got to hang on a belt anyway. We could say Molly, but I mean that's pushing it. The weave on that is lovely. And the only other thing was, I wouldn't really go to using that because it comes off as easy as it goes on. Everybody's style's different. If you're putting that on there and you're putting it in a pack, it's not really the end of the world. Me, I personally like belt and braces, so I would prefer if that end unscrewed, which it does, and you had a belt clip that was a ring and went down onto there, and obviously whether it compromises the sealing ring there, I don't know. That's probably why they went for the exterior silver clip, that what goes on there. But that's just me. ThruNite TN12 2014 version, and missed a beat. The only thing was, obviously when we started up, I couldn't get it to work. Maybe that wasn't screwed in enough, maybe there was a bit of dust or a bit of something in it, but it's absolutely fine now. But that's all about adapting, you know. Oh, doesn't work. Don't throw a hissy fit. Trust in the mark. Know your gear. Trust it. Test it here first before you rely on it out in the middle of nowhere. And this is, well, for me, it's like changed my appreciation of what a small, you know, that's a small church. This ain't one of these huge ones that you go down and you get 1 million candle bar. That's bulky. This fits in your pocket just as simple as everybody appreciates the mini maglite size and the AA maglite size torches. What a bear cat. THRUNite TN12. So Scott from Wessex Blades with his initial impressions and unboxing of the TN12 by ThruNite, guiding me through the night. Put it away in its nice box, because that is a nice box. That's reusable too. Thanks to me again. Thanks to ThruNite again for sending the gear. Comes to Summit when they actually know what I'm going to do to it when I get hold of it, and they don't stop them sending it. I'm going to burn it, I'm going to boil it, and things like that. ThruNite TN12. Thanks to me again.